Hey YouTube, sorry it's been so long since I've updated. I've been extremely busy with school and going different places and stuff. But I'm here to update you again, and hopefully there will be more after this. So first of all, I want to talk about school over here. My school is called International Community School, and it's an American school with an American curriculum. But the classes are a lot harder than school back at Russell. I think it's mainly because the Asians here and they have really, really good work ethic. And I'm having upwards of maybe 2 hours of homework an evening, sometimes more. So it's been a bit difficult of a transition for me, but I think it's going to pay off in the long run. Um, I'm really enjoying school over here though because everybody's really friendly and there's like no cliques or anything. And I don't know, I just really like it. I'm starting to miss home though, so I'm looking forward to getting back. But let's talk about some of the places I've been. First of all, we went to Bali, and if you don't know about Bali, it is sort of like a resort jungle island in Indonesia. And when we were there, we went and visited some cool volcanoes, and we went through the jungle whitewater rafting, and that was extremely awesome. It wasn't really hard rapids, but it was just good for sightseeing. I didn't bring a camera there because I didn't want to get it waterlogged, but I definitely should have because it was beautiful. But hopefully you saw some of my pictures on Facebook and Instagram. Let's see. 2 weeks ago, I went on Week Without Walls with my school, which is like a week-long event where you choose a place to go, usually a developing country, and you go and you work in poor areas and just do different jobs. There were the choices of Cambodia, Thailand, two places in the Philippines, China, and two places in India. And because a good friend of mine went to Thailand over this past summer, I chose Thailand. And so when we got to Thailand, it was a really impoverished city, but we stayed in a pretty nice guest house, so it wasn't that bad. We had air conditioning and hot water and everything, so it was better than the other groups. But anyways, what we did there is we built a fence for a school and a church. They're sort of like conjoined with each other. So the first day we were there, we went to the school and we played games with the kids. And my friend Justin and I were in charge of soccer, and we played for a good 4 hours. And it was crazy. There were like I think 350 kids there, and so and I have to say they're really good at soccer for never playing in a league before. Um, then after that, like I said, we built a fence, and that took about 2 days. And we weren't really planning on doing manual labor, but when we got there, they asked us to, so we were flexible and we did that. And then we, over the past couple of months, we've been learning K-pop. And if you don't know what K-pop is, it's Korean pop music. And in Asia, people are crazy about that stuff, and they make up dances to all the songs and stuff. So we learned about 6 K-pop dances, and they're rather difficult. But anyways, we were learning them, and I just kept thinking, there's no way that this is gonna get us anywhere. I don't know why we're doing this. But when we got there, we taught the kids K-pop, and it was the funniest thing ever because my group was in charge of the boys, and there's probably 75 boys learning this K-pop dance, and there was a language barrier. We couldn't understand what they were saying, and they couldn't understand us. So it was a bit difficult trying to understand. But once they got like every single move, they jumped up and down. They were so happy, and at the end they learned the dance, and it was really cool. But what they're going to do with that is over this next Easter weekend, they're going to be doing an outreach into the community to get kids who don't normally go to church to come, and they're going to teach them K-pop dances. And also, while we were there, during the evenings, we went to another church. We went to their youth group, and they were currently doing a K-pop. It was called the Maysot K-pop Battle. And so we got there, and there were some legit teams there, and they actually like were really good dancers and really good at K-pop. And so we got up there and we were doing our dances, and they were just following along. They already knew all our dances, and then they got up and just showed us up completely. Um, but so we didn't win the K-pop battle, but it was cool because those people usually don't go to church, and that got them to come out for a week, and we gave some testimonies and we did worship with them. So it was really awesome. And let's see, what else did we do when we were there? Oh yeah, we went to the Hill Tribes. A few of us did, and we led church there. And in the Hill Tribes, it's an extremely impoverished area of Thailand, and it's crazy because the people there, the reason they live there is because they are Christians, and once they become Christians, they have to move into the Hill Tribe in that certain area. And it was just crazy to see how these people left everything they ever knew just because they love Jesus, and that was really motivational for me. And anyways, we got there, and we led church. I helped lead worship, even though they couldn't understand what we were saying, and we had a translator for the actual church leading, so they did understand. But then afterwards, we went to this house, and they fed us food, and you probably saw some pictures on Facebook if you looked at my Thailand album. But it was really cool. And then we went back and we did some shopping in the local markets, and that was cool. And then we wrapped it up by just hanging out with the kids for the last day, and it was really sad to leave them. But a lot of them added me on Facebook, and I was surprised they had Facebook, but they did. And now they're all spamming my wall with stuff that they translated on Google Translate, and it makes no sense at all, but it's pretty funny. And so that was my trip to Thailand, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope to go back. And this past week, right after Thailand, we had about 2 days off, and then we had spring break. And for spring break, we went to Dubai, and that was pretty wild. It was very Americanized, so that was good. I saw my truck there, and so that was pretty cool because there really aren't any trucks in Singapore. And then there were tons of American restaurants, like we ate at Hard Rock and TGI Fridays, and just some pretty cool places like that. And but anyways, the first day we were there, we went on a tour of Dubai, and that was pretty cool. We just went through the city and saw the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world. And then we went to the biggest mall in the world, and that was pretty cool too. It's just the Dubai Mall, and they have so many American shops, so it was good to see some of those. And then the next day we went to visit some friends that were there that the Kennedys are friends with, and that was cool. They took us to the date farm where they grow dates, and that's one of the main crops that comes out of Dubai and Abu Dhabi, which is another emirate in the UAE. And then the next day we went on a desert safari, and it was really interesting because I thought we'd just be going and looking at camels and stuff, but it was more of a dune buggy ride because we were going off really steep hills on this SUV type thing, and it was just really wild. It was a lot of fun though. And then we finished off the evening with traditional Emirati food and belly dancing, which was kind of interesting. And then we went home, and I crashed for the evening. And then the next day was probably my favorite. First of all, it was my birthday, so that made it pretty cool. And then we went indoor skiing, and so that was a blast. It was actually pretty big slopes, and they even had a black diamond there and everything. It was a lot of fun, but I skied for about 2 hours. Andrew he was a beginner at skiing, and so for some reason beginners aren't allowed on the slopes, and we didn't know that, so we got split up, and he had to go take a lesson, and it was a mess. But anyways, I was on the ski lift, and I found this guy from the Netherlands, and we hung out, and he was about 27 years old, and one of his friends worked in Dubai, so he had a free day off when he was visiting him. And so we hung out for the rest of the evening and skied together, and he was pretty good because he skis in the Swiss Alps. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then we went to Hard Rock Cafe for my birthday dinner, and I had some wings, which I haven't had in a long time, and they were extremely good. And then they told him it was my birthday, and so they made me stand up on the table, and they sang happy birthday to me or whatever, and then the lady had this